Alright, so this is going to be one of those videos that pretty much everybody knows is true instantly once I read the title. But this is going to be a lesson that you have to internalize. This is not just a video that you can hear and it can go in one ear and out the other. A lot of you are still going to have to go through the mistakes to learn and internalize these things on your own. But I'm going to deliver you the topic anyways, so hopefully you don't have to make those mistakes as long as you focus and as long as you pay attention and as long as you're self-aware with what is actually going on in your life. So I'm going to title this video, "Women are only nice to you if you don't talk to them very much." Now I'll say that one more time. Women are only nice to you. Women only desire to be nice to you. Women only treat you well, or women only treat you with respect. Women are only nice to you, okay, if you do not desire to talk to them very much. Now, for some of you, when you hear a line like that, that sounds really harsh. Okay, especially for some of you younger guys out there. See, here's the problem. When you're a young man, okay, I consider myself slowly getting to be a little bit older. I'm only 29, but I feel and honestly I move and I operate like I'm 50. You know, I always tell people I was a 40-year-old guy by the time I was 22, 23 years old. That's just the truth. But this is still a topic that every man is going to have to internalize for themselves to really understand what I'm talking about. Women are only nice to you if you don't talk to them very much. Now, wisdom can come at any age. Some guys might learn this really quick in their 20s. Other guys, it might take them to their 30s or 40s. But you're not going to be able to outdo this one with looks, money, or status. Now, this is one thing that I want the young guys to hear. The young guys need to hear this. When you're young and you're naive to how the world works or to how the world operates or to even just, how humans work, how humans operate, how people behave, not only are you unaware of female nature, but to some degree, you're completely unaware of human nature. And it's funny, though, because when you're a young man, you think you know everything. At least I did. Right? When I was a young guy, I thought I knew everything. Oh no, you couldn't tell me nothing. It was my way or the highway. I'm doing it this way. When it comes to work, when it comes to business, when it comes to life, when it comes to how to handle a situation, I'm doing it this way. And even if I'm completely wrong, I had 100 different reasons why that way is the right way for me. That was my mindset. When you're a young man and you're naive to human nature, you are naive to female nature, see, you think you can outdo this one through charm, through riz. You think you can outdo this one through a better physique, a better body. You think you can outdo this one line that I just gave you, right? Women are only nice to you if you don't talk to them very much. You think you can outdo this one through something like looks, money, or status. You tell yourself, I'm on the football team or I'm on the hockey team, but if I was captain of the football team or if I was captain of the hockey team, I'd win. And I could just talk to my girlfriend every single day, and she would always love me, and nothing would ever get boring and nothing would ever get stale. You tell yourself, if I just had a better six-pack, right? If my abs, right? If my abs were just a little bit more symmetrical, oh yeah, then I would have that body that, she wants. Whatever the case may be. You tell yourself, if I was captain of the hockey team, if only I got that college scholarship, if I was a little bit taller, if only I could dunk the basketball, whatever. You're naive to human nature. You are naive to female nature. Now, as you get older, you start to learn things. Okay? Now, This is the difference between a wise man, or like a smart man, and a man who is dumb, or a man who does not have these things figured out. A guy who doesn't have these things figured out, or a guy who is acting dumb, keeps making the same mistake over and over without being self-aware and actually taking a step back and understanding what is going on. So here's what happens the longer I've made these videos is I see guys in their 20s make the same mistakes with women in their dating life in their 30s, and then I see guys in their 30s make the same mistakes in their dating life in their 40s and 50s and so on and so forth, and they never learn because they're never self-aware. They don't actually realize what's going on. They don't see anything that's going on. They are basically unaware of human nature, or unaware and naive to female nature. But in this video, I'm going to tell you a lot of different truths to how women act and how women operate. And what you're going to find in your dating life is that women are not nice to you, or they don't desire to continuously keep being nice to you unless you don't talk to them very much. Now, the reason why I think this topic is very important is because I have made a lot of these videos, and I have made videos on these topics for a lot of years. I have found this secret to be true for basically any man, at any age, at any height, right? How tall he is, at any income level. I have seen this happen. So this is what happens when you desire to communicate a lot with a woman. This is what happens when you desire to call a woman on the phone a lot. This is what happens when you desire to text message a woman a lot. This is what happens when you continuously keep desiring to talk to her. Now, disclaimer, I feel the need to say this too. You are going to find this to be true no matter who you date. I don't care if the woman has never been with another man in her entire life. I don't care if she's had 10 different boyfriends. I don't care if she was married and divorced. I don't care if she comes from a stable 2-parent household. I don't care if she had a strong father. As if that does really anything to change attraction. She had a strong father, so now not her. She's not going to be attracted to that guy. Oh, no, no, no. No, she had a strong father. Oh yeah, that's going to change her. Completely wrong. You're going to find statements like this to be true no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter where you come from. And on top of that, you're going to find this true no matter how she grew up, no matter her parental circumstance or situation. This is what you're going to find. Women are only nice to you if you don't talk to them a lot. Now, the younger guys, what they think is they think that they can outdo this through either looks, money, or status, and you can't. And I'm going to explain why. What you are going to find as you age, okay, you are going to find that women, okay, like the comparison, like just listen close and stick with me. This is hard for me to explain, but this will make sense, and you'll start to see this play out as you get older. When you're a guy and you see like a really hot woman, you think she's just gorgeous, okay, the equivalent to a really hot woman is a guy who has some type of perceived status. He has a rock solid congruent identity and has some kind of status and or recognition that solidifies his I am statement. Yes, I am a CEO, I am a pro football player, I am a famous musician, I am a XYZ, whatever. When you get the butterflies in your stomach, or you get nervous when you look at a really hot woman that you're going to talk to for the first time, or maybe you're going out on a date, right? What really makes a woman stop and look at all of her other female friends and go, oh, look at him, who is that guy? I've seen him before. Or he looks familiar, or who is that guy? The equal to what you think is hot would be a man who has a lot of perceived status, or a man who has a lot of status, at least when it comes to initial first attraction, okay? What you're going to find is that women a lot of times need to do some digging to kind of find out and see who you are. Okay, but this is what you're going to find, and this is what you're going to understand, and this is what you're going to realize is when she is attracted to you. Maybe she's attracted to the status from your personality, which lets her know that other people socially respond well to you. Maybe she's attracted to your status that you have when it comes to your profession or whatever you do for a living. Maybe she thinks you have some degree of status because you're so confident when you talk. Doesn't really matter. There's going to be a lot of different markers that a guy can hit that positions himself as a way to have status that basically says, hey, I am not average. I am not an average guy. That is what she's looking for. She's looking for a man who is basically not average. She wants to feel like she's with a winner in some type of metric. Now, stick with me. Status, okay? Listen to me closely. Looks can be a form of status. Your money can be a form of status. Status in and of itself, maybe you have a lot of followers, that can be a form of status. You being pre-selected and other women thinking you're attractive, that can be a form of status. Your confidence in your demeanor and your personality, that can be a form of status. There's a lot of different layers to status, okay? Once a woman feels like you have some degree of perceived status, or once she thinks that you have a degree of perceived status, listen to me closely. Any man that is in a position of status, in theory, should be hard to get to. This is what you're going to find. Any man who is in a position of status, in theory, should be hard to get to. Meaning it should be hard to access his time, it should be hard to access his availability, it should be hard to access even communication or conversation with him. Why? Because he's in a position of status. Therefore, your default answer should be no and I'm busy. Let's say that one more time. No and I'm busy. Nope, not available. No, I'm busy. No, can't do that. And then when she does get that text message back or that call back from you, it means something. The reason why women get bored when they are in a relationship is because he becomes too accessible. So your perceived status drops. I want you to think about this. Let's say you are the president, right? In theory, right? It's hard to access the president. Let's say you are the owner of a Fortune 500 company. In theory, it should be hard to get access to that guy. Think about it. If you have to go up the corporate ladder, he doesn't just communicate with anybody, okay? There's different levels of communication you have to go through in order to get to him. This is how stuff works. So anytime you talk to women a lot, it lowers your perceived status, which means the man who really oftentimes wins over her emotions, what you're going to find is a guy who's not talking to her. It's funny how that works. We as men, since we think so logically, we assume that there's something we can do, okay? Because this is the natural, like, man's way of thinking a lot of times, is effort and doing more will get you a result. You think if I put in effort and I go and get a result and I go to the gym, I'll build a better body. You tell yourself if I put in more hours into my career or into my profession, I should have more money, okay? You tell yourself if I pick any area in my life and I focus on it, I in theory should get better. Women are going to be the one thing in your life when it comes to dating that it has a opposite effect or diminishing returns. The more time and effort and investment you put into a relationship which involves communicating with her, the less she likes you, because the more available you are, the more you start to lower your perceived status. So this goes true for anybody, okay? When the all-star athlete ends up over-validating and talking to his girlfriend too much, and he over-communicates how he feels or he shows his interest level, his perceived status drops, and now she doesn't like him. This happens. Women are attracted to a man who's in a position of status. A man of status, in theory, should be hard to access and hard to get to. Therefore, that's why women are only oftentimes nice to you if you don't talk to them a lot. Because by you not talking to her, it signals two things. Either number one, I have more attractive women that I'm already talking to or dating, or number two, I have different priorities that does not involve communicating with you right now, and I'm here to let you in on a very uncomfortable secret. To her, that's a turn on. She gets turned on by that. She gets turned on that you're not with her. She gets turned on that you're a little bit untouchable when it comes to communication. She gets turned on that you're not there, okay? So guys who communicate with women a lot and you're constantly trying to talk to her, or you're constantly trying to text message her, or you're constantly trying to call her back on the phone, or you're constantly trying to be there for her, you lower your perceived status. And here's the funniest thing about this, is it doesn't matter who you are, and even if you have all the real world status, even if you have all of it, maybe you are super wealthy, you have a lot of followers, you have a great body, you know, you've been in the gym for 10 years, let's say you're tall, you're good looking, you have everything that should signal, hey, you're a man of status. Maybe you have a great social circle, you're well liked, very charming. Watch what happens when you try to talk to her too much. You might have real world status, but your dating value now takes a drop in status in her eyes. You see, it's not about how you perceive the status, it's about how she perceives the status. It's about what she feels. Good news for every single guy out there right now saying, well, my circumstance is tough because I'm an average guy. Awesome. You need to start to communicate how a man who has some type of status communicates. This is why in almost every single video I keep telling you, you have to start to learn, understand, and master the language of women. I am not just saying that for fun. I'm saying that because I genuinely mean it. Good news for the guy who considers himself average, right? Maybe you have a normal everyday job in a normal career. You know, maybe you're not 7 feet tall, maybe you don't drive, you know, a brand new $1 million sports car, whatever. The amazing thing about this is you can actually leverage perceived value and perceived status through better communication. There's certain things that men who are not only pre-selected by other women, but there's certain things that men who are of status do when it comes to their communication patterns that lets women know, hey, I am not easy to get to. And because of that, she gets turned on by it. You are going to find this true no matter who you are. And like the reason why like I wanted to make this video today just like randomly, no notes, nothing scripted. Okay, this is purely just me talking right now, right? I don't have my marker board like I typically do. I don't have a sheet of notebook paper in front of me with stuff written down on it. This is hard for guys to understand, because when I say something like women are only nice to you if you don't try to talk to them a lot, because as a guy you probably think so logically, you tell yourself or you ask yourself or you say to yourself, you go, well, how am I supposed to find companionship? Who am I supposed to talk to? What am I supposed to do? And those are amazing questions, because now and only now can you finally find out what you're actually supposed to be doing, what you're actually supposed to be doing with your time, what your real true purpose is, what you should be doing every day. And you're going to find out that it's not sitting on your phone text messaging your girlfriend. It's not staying up for hours and hours sitting on FaceTime calls with her. Women don't like the men who talk to them a lot. And this is something that any guy is going to have to internalize. And you know what? Over the years, I've seen a lot of different guys get divorced. I have seen a lot of different guys get cheated on. I have seen a lot of different guys lose out on what they would call the love of their life. And in every single situation and in every single circumstance that I have ever seen, a few things happen. He showed his interest level. He over-communicated with her on a daily or a weekly basis, and she knew exactly how he felt. And because of that, he took a decrease in perceived status. And this is why I'm telling you, it's good news for you if you consider yourself to be a normal, average, everyday dude. Why is it good news? Because for once, you actually start to understand that if you can pick up on these verbal cues, you can actually get ahead. If you actually start to position what you're saying in a different way, you can actually start to increase your perceived status simply by communicating less. This is good news. But one thing that almost every single guy, or I would say that every guy is going to have to internalize at some point, is women do not like you if you talk to them a lot, and women are not nice to you, right? Women are only nice to you unless you don't desire to talk to them a lot, and unless you don't talk to them a lot. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.